Okay, picture this. It is 530 BC. You are standing on the coast of what is now southern Italy, in the city of Crotone. The sun is beating down, the Mediterranean is sparkling. You're standing in front of a building that everyone says holds the secrets of the universe. This is the school of Pythagoras. But here's the thing I need you to understand right off the bat. Getting into this place wasn't like signing up for a community college class or, even applying to a modern university.
Not even close. I mean, if you think getting into Harvard or passing the entrance exams for NASA is tough, that is a walk in the park compared to what Pythagoras demanded.
Seriously. Harder than NASA.
Well, much harder, because NASA just wants your brain. Pythagoras wanted your entire soul. We call it a school. But looking at the historical record, that's almost a mistranslation of the vibe. It was an initiatory sect. It was this incredibly exclusive, high-pressure community dedicated to a total reconstruction of the human being.
And that is exactly what we're unpacking today. We aren't just talking about a guy who liked triangles. We're going to tell the story of perhaps history's most obsessive, compulsive mind, look at the frankly bizarre and cult-like rules of his community.
Right.
And here's where it gets really interesting. We're going to conduct a thought experiment.
We're going to take Pythagoras and his brilliant wife and successor, Tiano, and we're going to transport them to the 21st century.
We're going to ask, if these two are alive today, stripped of their tunics, and put into carbon fiber technical suits, how would they design the ultimate electric vehicle?
Yeah.
Because when you look at their philosophy, the connections to modern tech are kind of mind-blowing.
It really is a journey through time and technology. But to understand the car they would build, you have to understand the mind that built it. And that starts at the gates of the school.
The school of silence. Let's talk about the akasmedeki.
Right. So let's say you manage to get an interview. Pythagoras looks at your physiognomy. He literally judged your character by your physical features and decides you might have potential.
Okay.
You think, great, I'm in. Where is the lecture hall? When can I ask questions?
And the answer is absolute silence.
For 5 years.
5 years. Let's actually pause on that. Imagine you are a brilliant young scholar in ancient Greece. You want to debate, you want to prove you're smart, you want to show off your wit, and you are told, shut up, for half a decade.
It sounds like torture for an intellectual, doesn't it? But Pythagoras believed that speech dissipates the mind. By forcing silence, he believed you were building this reservoir of internal power. It wasn't just be quiet, it was learn to listen to the universe before you impose your voice on it.
So these students were called the akasmatici, or the listeners.
Exactly.
So it's cognitive training, like a monk's vow, but for math. But here's the detail that always gets me. During this time, they couldn't even see him.
That's right, the curtain. Pythagoras lectured from behind a heavy curtain. The akasmatici sat on one side, hearing this, disembodied voice of wisdom.
And the mathematicians, the inner circle, they sat on the other side.
Right, with him. It was incredibly theatrical.
It had to be.
It was designed to be. It created a physical barrier between the initiated and the uninitiated. You had to earn the right to see the master's face. You had to prove you could handle the knowledge without the distraction of the person delivering it.
Talk about delayed gratification. But it wasn't just your voice you had to give up. It was your wallet, too. This is where it starts sounding less like a school and more like, well, a cult.
It definitely ticks the cult boxes. This was the communism of math. The rule was explicit. Among friends, everything is common. You handed over all your possessions to the community upon entry. Your money, your property, everything.
Okay, wait. You hand over all your money? That sounds exactly like every cult documentary I've ever watched on Netflix. Did people actually do this willingly?
They did. But you have to remember, in 530 BC, you were buying into a lifetime support system. You were joining a family. But you are right to be skeptical because it was a total surrender of identity. However, I found this fascinating. There was an exit clause.
Which is rare for a cult.
Very rare. If you couldn't hack it, or if you decided this life of silence and no beans wasn't for you, they would actually give you your money back. In fact, the sources say they'd give you double what you put in.
That sounds like a great deal. I tried the cult, didn't like it, made 100% profit, but there had to be a catch.
Oh, the catch was devastating. They would build a tomb for you, a literal tomb with a cenotaph, a monument. To the community, if you left, you were spiritually dead. They would walk past your tomb every day and mourn you as if you had physically passed away.
That is some serious psychological warfare. Here's your money, but you are dead to us.
Exactly. It reinforces the idea that life outside the sect isn't really life at all. It's just existence. Real life only happens within the geometry of the school.
So once you are in assuming you don't take the double money exit. The micromanagement of your life was incredible. They had these daily rules called symbola. And looking at them now, without context, they seem like superstitious nonsense.
They do. They look like superstitions, but for Pythagoras, everything was a symbol of a deeper cosmic truth.
Okay, let's run through a few. Don't poke the fire with iron.
Right. On the surface, fire safety, but symbolically. Iron is the metal of war and swords. Fire is a natural living element. You do not offend the nature of the fire with an instrument of violence. It means do not provoke with sharp words.
Don't step over a balance scale.
That's about justice. The scale represents balance and fairness. Stepping over it is an act of disregarding justice or thinking you are above the law.
Put the right sandal on first.
The right side was associated with light, odd numbers, and the masculine, the good, in their dualistic view. So you always start with the order of the right side before the left.
And don't eat the heart.
Because the heart represents the seat of life and pain. You don't consume the essence of life. It also meant do not consume yourself with grief.
Which brings us to the elephant in the room, or rather, the legume in the room.
The beans.
The great bean taboo.
You really can't talk about Pythagoras without talking about his absolute mortal fear of fava beans.
Sounds like a joke, right? Like, don't kill, don't steal, and stay away from the salad bar.
You know?
But he was dead serious.
Dead serious. And the theories why are just wild. You have the mystical side where he thought beans were basically soul traps. The idea was that the hollow stems of the fava bean plant acted as a direct tube or conduit connecting the earth to Hades, the underworld.
So eating a bean was like eating a soul.
Essentially. They believed the bean contained the souls of the dead waiting for reincarnation. So if you ate a fava bean, you might be eating your own ancestor.
It is horrifying.
It is. But there was also a biological theory. Some sources say he thought they looked like human fetuses, or specifically like testicles. So eating them was a disruption of generative power.
It's so specific. And tragically, this obsession is what might have killed him.
That's the legend, and it's a powerful one.
So the story goes that a rival faction attacked the school. They set the building on fire. Pythagoras and his inner circle are running for their lives.
They're escaping. They are faster than their pursuers. But then they come to a field of fava beans in full bloom.
And he stops.
He stops dead. He looks at the field and he looks at the men with swords coming up behind him. And he makes a calculation. He decides that trampling the beans would be a violation of divine law he refused to cross.
He preferred to be captured and killed rather than break his own taboo.
That is conviction. It shows that for him, these weren't just diet tips. They were cosmic laws. To step on the bean was to destroy the order of the universe.
So let's take that level of conviction, that obsession with order, geometry, and purity, and let's fast forward 2,500 years.
Let's do it.
Imagine Pythagoras today. He's not in a tunic. The sources describe him in a sleek carbon fiber suit, sitting at a minimalist workstation. He's a tech CEO, and he's designing a car.
And immediately, we know one thing for sure. He would absolutely hate the internal combustion engine.
With a passion.
Think about it from his perspective. An internal combustion engine is based on explosions. It's thousands of tiny bombs going off every minute. It creates irregular noise, friction, heat, and waste. To a mind like Pythagoras, that is chaos. It's ugly math.
Whereas an electric motor.
An electric motor is pure music. You have a rotor spinning inside magnetic fields. It's silent. It's consistent. It's governed by precise frequencies. It represents the perfection of the sphere.
The sources mention that he would see the hertz of the motor like the harmonies of a lyre.
Exactly. And it represents the perfection of zero. No emissions, no vibration. It's the void from which everything generates. It's a theorem in motion.
I love that phrase, a theorem in motion. Now, if he's building this car, he needs a battery. And he's not going for standard lithium-ion, is he?
No. That's too messy. He would be obsessed with solid-state batteries.
Specifically with ceramic electrolytes. Why the preference?
Think about a standard lithium-ion battery. Inside, you have a liquid electrolyte. At a microscopic level, that liquid is in constant, chaotic motion. It's Brownian motion. To Pythagoras, that random movement is an imperfection. It's operant unlimited, chaotic.
And the solid state?
It's a crystal lattice. Every atom is locked in a perfect geometric relationship with its neighbor. It is physically stable. It doesn't degrade the same way. To him, that isn't just better engineering, it's moral superiority. The battery structure mimics the eternal order of the stars.
Plus the energy density. He would probably try to calculate the weight-to-power ratio using the golden ratio.
Of course he would. Everything has to fit the math. But here is where we need to bring in a partner, because a car designed only by Pythagoras might be a bit austere. It might be a perfect geometric shape that's impossible to sit in.
Exactly. Enter Tiano.
Tiano of Crotone.
Yeah.
And we have to give her her due. She wasn't just Pythagoras' wife. She was a brilliant mathematician in her own right. After Pythagoras died, she actually took over the school.
The sources describe her role in this modern car company as the chief product officer.
That's a perfect title for her. If Pythagoras is the logos, the abstract logic, the code Tiano is the harmony, she's the practical application, she makes the technology livable.
So how does Tiano change the car?
Well, while Pythagoras is worrying about the crystal lattice of the battery, Tiano is looking at the interior. She's applying the golden section, or the number of gold, to the proportions of the cabin.
So it feels instinctively right to the human eye.
Exactly. But she goes further. She was deeply concerned with morality and the ethics of care. She would insist on an organic interior.
The sources mention vegan leather.
Which fits perfectly. Remember, they were vegetarians. They believed in reincarnation. You don't want to sit on a leather seat that used to be your grandfather. That's bad karma.
Very bad karma.
So she's using natural materials, vegan leather, and circadian lighting to reduce stress. She wants the car to be a place of peace, but her biggest contribution would be the AI.
Let's dig deeper into this hubris prevention system Tiano is designing. Because right now, modern cars let you drive like a maniac until you actually crash. How does her car handle a driver with road rage?
It's fascinating. In her philosophy, harmonia is about self-regulation. So the car monitors your biometrics, heart rate spiking, grip on wheel tightening. Are you driving aggressively? That is hubris arrogance.
So the car judges you.
It corrects you. It doesn't just beep. It might actively increase resistance in the accelerator pedal. It physically fights your anger. It forces you to slow down. It might dim the cabin lights or change the acoustic frequency. It treats your road rage as a spiritual illness that the machine needs to cure.
It's not just a driving assistant, it's a moral guardian. It's like having a philosopher in the passenger seat telling you to check your ego.
Basically. And she would insist on sodium solid-state batteries, not just for geometry, but because they are non-flammable. Her view is that technology is nothing without the protection of life.
There is a quote from Tiano in the notes that is, well, it's very specific to the time, but the application to the car is fascinating.
The quote about purity.
Yeah. Someone asked her how long it takes for a woman to be pure after being with a man. She said, if it is with her husband, instantly. If it is with another, never.
It's a harsh ancient standard, but it shows her obsession with purity and boundaries. And in the context of the car, the sources suggest this translates to air quality.
She would demand a hospital-grade HEPA filter.
She would want the air inside the cabin to be cleaner than a Greek temple. A sealed, pure environment protected from the pollution outside. When you step into the car, you are stepping out of the dirty world and into a purified space.
So we have the team, Pythagoras on the engineering, Tiano on the experience. What are we driving? What is the ultimate Pythagorean vehicle?
Well, they wouldn't build a clunker. The sources suggest they'd start with something like a Lucid Air Sapphire or a Tesla Model S Plaid, something that already leans into efficiency.
But customized.
Heavily. The aerodynamics would be tweaked to follow a logarithmic spiral to minimize resistance.
And the sound. We mentioned the engine is silent, but it's not totally silent.
No. The sources say they would replace the wind noise and tire hum with frequencies calibrated to 432 hertz.
432 hertz. Why that specific number?
This is a big deal in modern Pythagorean circles. It's sometimes called Verdi's A. The theory is that 432 hertz is mathematically consistent with the universe. It resonates with the golden ratio. Standard music is tuned to 440 hertz, which some claim creates agitation or aggression.
So 440 hertz is chaotic and 432 hertz is healing.
To a Pythagorean, yes. So the car is literally humming in tune with the cosmos as you drive. You arrive at your destination feeling more balanced than when you left.
That sounds incredible, actually. What about the dashboard?
No buttons. Buttons are clutter, just screens showing energy flows. They want you to see the physics happening in real time. They want you to visualize the theorem.
Now, here is the big question. Would Pythagoras let me drive this car?
Absolutely not.
I didn't think so.
Pythagoras would be a level 5 autonomous driving absolutist.
Why?
Because you are human. You are emotional. You are irrational. You might be hungry or angry or tired. That leads to error. An algorithm is perfect. It decides based on probability.
So the logos takes the wheel.
Ideally, he would want a connected polis. Imagine V2V, vehicle-to-vehicle communication, All the cars talking to each other in a synchronized dance. No traffic lights, no stop signs, just a fluid flow of mathematical perfection regulated by a universal algorithm.
It's a utopia of efficiency. But because this is a sect, we have to bring back the rules. We can't escape the cult vibes just because we have Wi-Fi.
No, the rules still apply. You can't just buy the car, you have to live the lifestyle.
I'm imagining the modern sect rules for this car.
Well, for one, the car definitely has sensors in the trunk. If it detects a bag of fava beans,
System shut down.
the car simply will not start. Contamination detected. You have prohibited items on board.
And what about the silence of the acousmatic key?
You buy this incredible high-tech car, you get in, and the voice assistant is disabled.
For 5 years.
For 5 years. You have to learn to listen to the car before you can speak to it. You have to understand its logic before you can command it.
That is the ultimate feature lock.
It's a feature, not a bug. It forces you to become a better passenger.
So what does this all mean? We've got this blend of ancient mysticism and cutting-edge tech. When you put it all together, what kind of machine is this?
I think it's more than a machine. As Pythagoras would say, it's a theorem in motion. It's a synthesis of man, machine, and nature. It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about moving through the world with zero friction, zero waste, and total harmony.
It's a beautiful image. And it connects the initiation of the school to the user experience of the car.
Exactly. Just like that school in Crotone, it's not for everyone. It requires discipline.
Yeah.
But if you buy in, if you accept the geometry, the silence, the rules, you aren't just commuting, you're participating in a cosmic order.
Which is a lot deeper than just trying to save a few bucks on gas.
It challenges us to think about our own technology. Are we building things just to go faster? Or are we building things to be more in tune with the world?
I love the final image the sources give us. You park this car at home. You plug it in, but you aren't plugging it into the dirty grid.
No, you're plugging it into solar panels, and those panels are arranged in perfect geometric grids. You are charging your vehicle directly from the sun.
It's the ultimate act of connecting with the cosmos. I am not driving a car. I am traveling inside an equation that solves itself kilometer after kilometer.
That is the Pythagorean dream.
And it's a dream we were happy to explore with you today. We really want to thank you for listening to this deep dive. It's a bit different from our usual topics, more of a narrative journey, but we think these thought experiments are so valuable.
Absolutely. It helps us see the present through the lens of the past. And who knows, maybe the next EV breakthrough will come from studying a little more geometry.
Just remember, keep the fava beans out of the trunk.
Always.
Thanks for listening, everyone.